Welcome to this new Forza Horizon 6 video, where we'll discuss some of the game's issues. So don't worry, Forza Horizon 6 is overall a very good game. There are a lot of things that have been greatly improved since Forza Horizon 5, but the game isn't perfect. Of course, the perfect game doesn't exist, but in order to try to get as close as possible to the perfect game, I wanted to make this little video where I'm going to go over the 3 or 4 main things that annoy me about Forza Horizon 6. So here, we're not going to talk about bugs. We're not going to talk about crashes, all that stuff. We know it exists in the game and we can hope it gets patched quickly. Here, I'm really talking about features or gameplay elements that are just annoying, honestly, and that I think the developers should take a look at first so that Horizon 6 lasts a long time and players can enjoy the game for a long time. Obviously, if you've noticed other annoying things in Forza Horizon 6, feel free to put them in the comments. Things you also think the devs should fix quickly for the good of the game. And if you want the developers to quickly address the issues I mentioned in this video, don't hesitate to leave a like and subscribe. It helps the channel and videos like this get more visibility, and it allows developers to come across them and maybe realize that yes, there are certain things that should be fixed quickly to make the game better. The first thing is obviously the behavior of the AI. Their aggressiveness in street races and cross-country races. So it was slightly improved with an update that came out last week for the game, especially in cross-country where it's obvious. It's better. In street races, however, there are still a lot of collisions with the AI who, especially in tight corners like that, tend to push you and won't let go. The problem isn't that they push you, but that they cling to you and won't let you get back on the road. They just won't leave your car, which is really annoying. Yeah, that's really a pain. When you're playing with a controller, it's still manageable. But when you're playing with a steering wheel and you constantly have to straighten your car after a collision with the AIs, I assure you, it's extremely annoying. This AI issue isn't always noticeable, but it becomes increasingly obvious and annoying as you raise the difficulty or move up in performance class. Honestly, in D class, with small cars, you don't really have the problem, but once you get into B class and around there, it starts to get pretty annoying. At first, I thought it was really something intentional. I thought the developer had made the AI much harder to beat in street races, to make it more challenging so that, you know, in these types of events that are a bit less official, it tries, let's say, some dirtier tricks, cheap shots, to try to push you off the track. But I think it's actually a bug. I think it's because, sure, the AI is much more efficient in Forza Horizon 6 than in Horizon 5. On the classic tracks, where it's better at avoiding collisions than in Forza Horizon 5. Simply put, it will brake more. It will be more aware of your position. But I actually think that in this type of race, since generally the tracks are much more winding, you see lots of winding roads, lots of tight sections. I think the AI just can't always make the right decision about who it should avoid. Because in this kind of turn, it happens much more often that there are 2, 3, even 4 of us side by side, and I feel like the AI doesn't always make the best choice. It should really prioritize not having collisions with the players, and I feel like in its mind, that's not very clear. Sometimes it prefers to avoid collisions with other AIs, even if it means penalizing you, the player. And honestly, that's extremely annoying. The second thing that I also find a bit annoying, a bit frustrating, and which I think should be able to be fixed pretty quickly, is that there are still, in Wheelspins and Super Wheelspins, you get clothes, emotes, and horns. Actually, it's mostly the horns and emotes because the amount of clothing in Wheelspins has been greatly reduced compared to Horizon 5. To the point that, at the beginning of the game, I thought there weren't any. I thought we were free from that problem. But no, there are still some from time to time. But it's nothing compared to the number of horns and emotes you can unlock in Wheelspins. The problem actually is that in Forza Horizon, 6 Wheelspins and Super Wheelspins are far fewer and much less frequent than in Forza Horizon 5. In Horizon 5, clearly, we unlocked them every time we leveled up. We got Super Wheelspins and Wheelspins. Almost always, even when I'm not doing anything. In Horizon 6, that no longer happens. There are far fewer Wheelspins and Super Wheelspins, which I think would have been a good reason to remove all the rewards nobody really cares about. Because using your best Wheelspin, or your best Super Wheelspin, when you don't have many, just to get a horn and an emote, it's really annoying. I think instead, they should at least put smaller amounts of money, or add reward cars that are less expensive or less rare. Something more common, since it's less frustrating to get a car you're not really interested in, or to get a very small amount of money, rather than getting a horn or an emote that, in any case, we're not going to use in the game. And I would say it's even worse for clothing. I actually find it crazy that they haven't removed them completely, because let me remind you that in Forza, the character is inside the car, and honestly, nobody cares about the clothes. You almost never see them. Third thing, and I think this is something the community might not necessarily agree with, So it's up to you to tell me what you think in the comments. It's not really a problem, but it's something extra that I find completely absurd. Automatic driving in the game can also be activated during races. You got it right. I'm not playing. You can hear me clapping. The game is playing all the races for me. Indeed, in the game, there's an automatic driving system that you can use in the open world. And that, to some extent, I can understand. Sometimes you just don't feel like driving the car all the way to your destination. If you haven't found the area and can't fast travel, you could do it if you're feeling lazy. Still, in an open world game where exploration matters, it's really shooting yourself in the foot. On the other hand, being able to use autopilot during races, I find that absurd. Basically, what does that mean? It means that there are people who will never actually play the game. Literally, they'll buy Forza Horizon 6, they'll travel around the open world using autopilot, they'll start races, and they'll do the races with autopilot. The worst part is that you can literally use autopilot in Rivals mode, which is a multiplayer mode, where the car, well, it's the same, will drive for you. I have to admit, personally, I don't get the idea behind wanting to set up a system that basically lets you never actually play the game. In Forza Horizon 6, especially since we have a game that's actually pretty easy, let's not forget that. A game where you can activate certain hidden difficulty options that basically make sure you're never stuck in the career mode. If you go into settings, then into accessibility, you can check the option here for guaranteed story progression, which means that even if you lose races, you can still move forward in the story, and you can even slow down the speed of the game. For those who are stuck on a track and can't handle the car, there are already a ton of difficulty customization options in the game that make it so you never lose. And yet they still had to add automatic driving for the races. For me, the main issue, and what I find most penalizing, in the end, with Forza Horizon 6, it's the current meta of the game, and how much Forza Horizon 6 tends to favor special unlock cars, or, and this is really annoying, DLC cars. It's true that in Horizon 6 the meta is extremely tight. In Horizon 5 too, there was a meta. Some car categories were always better than others. But in Horizon 6 we've reached a point where, in certain race categories, in certain performance categories, there's really only one car that's going to be much better than the others. And often, tough luck. Or maybe it's on purpose, I don't know, it's the paid DLC cars. I'll give you an example here. The best car in the R category is the one I'm showing you right now. It's the Nissan Skyline Time Attack, and it's a DLC car. It's from the Time Attack pack. Actually, if you have the big edition of the game and you bought the premium with the welcome pack, the VIP and others, you really have a game that's much easier because, well, you have the Time Attack cars like this, which are extremely overpowered. They're better than the Time Attack cars from the base game. In the VIP, so again, only available for those who have the DLC of the game, you have the Toyota Tacoma Forza Edition that other players can't get, and it's an absolute monster in a whole bunch of categories. It's good off-road, it's good for farming, it's good everywhere, like, it's really super overpowered. And still in the DLCs you have the Dodge Viper Forza Edition, which is also super overpowered for doing, for example, the last mile and a half of the game, or just for doing cross-country races or certain speed traps and other things. It's basically unbeatable. And the three cars I just showed you, well, they're all DLC cars. I'll give another example. In cross-country, in S2 class, the best car by far is the Forza Edition Viper, which is the DLC I just showed you. We have many events and categories here where the game has ultimately become pay to win. If you absolutely want to have the best car and really have a chance to get the best times, for example, or really the best chance to win, you have to pay for the DLCs. But even aside from that, there are still a lot of event categories where the meta is limited to cars that are extremely hard to get. I gave you an example a few days ago. In drag racing, for example, in S2 class, if you don't have the Nissan GT GTR Forza Edition, don't even try, it's pointless because this car dominates the leaderboards to an absurd degree. Now, it's not a DLC car, that's true, we agree on that. However, it's actually a wheelspin car. The only way to get this car is to get lucky in a wheelspin or a super wheelspin. Let me tell you, it can take a very long time to get it. While on the other hand, there are players who will get it really early, and you literally won't be able to do anything against them because you were less lucky. I think this is really the first time we've had a Forza Horizon where the DLC cars and the Forza Edition cars are this overpowered compared to the others. Because here, I'm giving you the example of the GT GTR. But let's talk about the Toyota Trueno Forza Edition, which is literally the fastest car in the game and is also a special unlock car. Honestly, even without talking about the Forza Edition cars or the DLC cars, there are quite a few categories where there's one car that's really better than the others. Here's another B category example. The Honda Beat. a car anyone can buy. It's not DLC or pay to win. Well, they crush everything. So, if you don't have a Honda Beat, you know you have no chance of doing well in the event if everyone else has one. And I think it's a bit of a shame because it kind of hurts the diversity of cars we're going to use. We end up playing with cars we don't even like just to have a chance to win in multiplayer. So for me, these are 4 big problems. The AI in street races, the super wheelspins and wheelspins that give too many absurd things, using auto-drive during races, and the Forza Edition meta and DLC meta. Tell me what you think about it. There are probably other problems with the game. Again, I'm not talking about bugs. I know there are sound bugs. There are graphical bugs. But we know those will be patched, and they'll probably be fixed pretty quickly, likely with the next update. But for me, really, the things that can be a bit annoying for gameplay are the things I showed you today. Let me know what you think in the comments. Follow me on Twitch for upcoming live streams. We often play multiplayer with subscribers, so come follow, come use your Prime, and of course, I'll also include my instant gaming link, which lets you buy your games cheaper while giving a little support to my channel, like Horizon 6, which is $40 cheaper, for example. Thank you for watching this video. Don't forget to share it if you want things to change a bit. And, well, see you very soon for a new one. Bye.